So welcome back guys to another video, and if you guys have been following my channel for a while, you guys know I'm a huge Castlevania fan. It's my favorite series of all time, so today I'm going to be going over my top 5 favorite Castlevanias. Now keep in mind, this is my list, this isn't a definitive list, so it's just all my opinion. Also, I'm going to be exempting the original Castlevania on the NES out of the countdown. The reason why is because I feel like this game is so classic that if this game wasn't good, none of these games would exist. So without further ado, here we go. Number 5 is going to be Curse of Darkness. Now many people will say that Konami has not successfully made that transition to 3D with the Castlevania series, and for the most part I would agree, but Curse of Darkness has a very special place in my heart. First off, I love the fact that this game takes place after Castlevania 3, Dracula's Curse, and we see returning characters like Trevor Belmont, which I thought was a great fan service. The protagonist we play as in this game is Hector, who I actually really enjoy his character because he's got a lot of depth. See, he started out as the right-hand man of Dracula, who was betrayed by his best friend Isaac and caused his beloved to be burned at the stake for being accused of witchcraft. And I thought that was really cool. And the fact that he's a Devil Forge Master, he can use various materials that he collects within the game to forge different weapons. You also have innocent devils, these little eggs that you can collect, that you can level up and hatch, almost like a Pokemon mentality, and these creatures will help attack other enemies and also help heal you. It adds tons of replay value, adds tons of customization, and I have to say that even though this game was released on the OG Xbox and PlayStation 2, I think with the graphics and the style and the soundtrack, it still holds up to this day. Now number 4 is going to be Castlevania Portrait of Ruin. Now this was a pretty important Castlevania. This was during its 25th anniversary. I remember I was working at Babbage's at the time, and I even pre-ordered a special collector's edition that came with like this black envelope that had like the Belmont timeline soundtrack, just a bunch of really great stuff, and the game is just fantastic. I love the fact that it takes place after Castlevania Bloodlines, a very underrated Vania on the Sega Genesis, and it was important to the Belmont timeline that this was the game that Jonathan Morris flipped the script and took away the Belmont curse that was fallen before the clan after Symphony of the Night with Richter Belmont. This gave leeway to Belmonts to actually use the Vampire Killer Whip again. So just a little bit of story there is just freaking amazing. I love the fact that you can switch between Jonathan and Charlotte, who had their own different playing styles, but their styles would also go well together to do certain puzzles and combos. It was just a fantastic Castlevania. Now my number 3 is going to be Aria of Sorrow. This is one of my favorite Game Boy Advance games, one of my favorite Castlevanias, and one of the reasons why I love this game so much is because it really had nothing to do with the Belmonts per se. You weren't playing as a character who was related to the Belmont clan or a Belmont. You were actually playing someone who could possibly become the new antagonist of the series. See, after Julius Belmont defeated Dracula in the Solar Eclipse Battle of 99, the world needed balance, and they needed the new Dark Master, and Soma Cruz, the character you play as, has the inheritance to take over the throne, and I love the fact that he's fighting with himself. He doesn't want to become the new Prince of Darkness, and you kind of have Julius Belmont and Alucard being his mentors, kind of trying to mold him in the way of not going towards the Dracula side, and I really enjoyed it. I love the fact that despite him trying to be good, he was stealing souls from enemies and getting different sub-weapons. It took the Metroidvania aspect to a whole new level. Many different endings. Possibly my favorite ending was actually the bad ending, because I felt like that could have opened up a whole new doorway to the Castlevania series. If you have a Game Boy Advance and you have some way to play this game and you haven't yet, you definitely have to check it out. My number 2 is going to be Rondo of Blood, a game that I heard for many years just for the price tag alone. I never had a PC engine, and the only way I was able to actually play this game the first time was on the PSP with the Dracula X Chronicles, and I absolutely fell in love with it. Now I will say, comparing this to maybe Super Castlevania, it doesn't really break the wall of, you know, innovation, but what it does for the Castlevania series is it does it well. This is a great level-based Castlevania, great soundtrack. I absolutely love Richter Belmont. He's probably one of my favorites in the series, and I really enjoyed playing it on the PSP and the fact you could unlock it and play the original as well. And I'm telling you, if you love stage-based platformers, action games, this is definitely one that you have to play in case you've never played it before. Now, before I get to number 1, here's a little montage of some great Castlevania games that didn't make the countdown. Now, my number 1 favorite Castlevania, and I don't think this should be a big surprise, is Castlevania Symphony of the Night. Now, a lot of people don't realize that at the time, Castlevania was getting kind of stale among gamers. A lot of people were getting kind of tired of them, and it was great to see Igarashi take something like the Metroid series and fuse it with Castlevania and make the Metroidvania genre. This is where it all started, and I cannot get enough of this game. This is the game that when I first start playing it, I cannot put it down until I finish it. And I remember getting it one summer a couple of years ago and just playing it all summer long. The soundtrack is so iconic, the character design, the fact that this was a 2D game on the PlayStation that showed off colorful sprites was also a very big bonus. But anyway, guys, that is my top 5 favorite Castlevanias. Did I leave one out? Is there one that you feel like that should be in that countdown? Be sure to leave a comment below. I'd love to hear some of your top 5 Castlevanias. Also, if you would love to see a top 5 least favorite Castlevanias, I have some Castlevanias I don't like. If you guys are interested in seeing a follow-up video, be sure to leave a comment below. And if you guys want to keep supporting the channel, not only subscribe, but be sure to hit the bell. It's going to be beside the subscription button, and this will notify you on all future videos that come out on this channel. Anyway, guys, as always, thanks for watching, thanks for subscribing, and as always, happy gaming.